Welcome back to the Now podcast. This is your host, Champs with a Z. We have
Gaijin.
And then we also have a special guest,
DJ Colonel Austin.
Great.
Thank you. That for me?
You deserve it, Colonel.
Yeah, yes, that's for you, Colonel. Special guest. You're a DJ, correct?
Yes, correct.
DJ Colonel Austin.
Yes.
We'll get into that a little bit later, but first we're going to start off with a little local news. In local news, we have, I want to talk about, well, it may not even be local news. I can tie it into local news a little bit, but it's pretty much old drivers. Old drivers, they get on my nerves. And I say it's just, we're going to tie it to the local news because I've seen a lot of fatalities, and me watching the news, it's been a lot of old drivers, at the ones who are driving, causing these accidents. So we had a lady in Franklin. She was 60 years old, and she gets out the car, on
Rich White Lady Drive in Franklin?
Yeah, well, it's somewhere in Franklin, but she gets out the car to help a dog that got hit by a car.
Oh.
So then she gets out, tries to help the car. Then a 70-year-old woman comes and hits her.
She left her car in the middle of the street.
Yeah, and so
help the dog.
Then the 70-year-old woman comes through in an SUV, of course, because they always have the biggest cars. If it wasn't that, it'd be a big old tank.
It's got to be a Lincoln Navigator
right.
or like a Denali or something down in Franklin.
Yeah, and so then when the paramedics got there, she was still alive, but then she was DOA when they brought her to the hospital. Then you had another fatality on Briley. What was it, yesterday or Cinco de Mayo? And this guy, he was 45. He was in a tractor trailer, and he killed a 27-year-old Marcus Dixon.
Pedestrian, right?
Yes.
Hit him with the trailer or something?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
Tractor trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full on semi.
And I don't know how.
You said full on.
But how does a pedestrian really get on Briley anyway? Like where? I don't know exactly where on Briley, but Briley's
it's around Elm Hill.
Oh, okay. That makes a little sense, I guess, but that's not where pedestrians are on Elm.
Yeah,
on Briley Parkway.
Probably shouldn't be on Briley. That's
But I ask you guys, do you think there's a limit where you have to go back at the DMV and get retested, like after 50?
Oh, not after 50. I think maybe.
But do you? So you?
Yeah,
do agree
I do believe you should.
I do as well.
Have to go back more. What is it now? You don't have to go back.
No, right.
So yeah,
only if you got like maybe like if you get a hearing problem or
right.
if you get
start going blind.
Yeah, then you
your
have to go back.
Your doctor makes rules that you're legally blind, then that goes to the DMV, and then you're not supposed to drive anymore.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense too.
But other than that, I still feel like there's an age limit to where we have Uber now. Hey, if you got an AARP card, you get free Ubers, half off or something.
Yeah, but how many 80, 70-year-olds know about Uber and use it?
Well, once
you
that
need to call the grandkids.
When you get that as part of your AARP plan or, MetLife or...
You get AARP at 50, so if you hadn't say at 65, when you retire and get your Social Security benefits, you got to go take a test at the DMV.
That sounds good.
They've got 15 years for the AARP to run them up on speed on how Uber works.
That sounds good. Yeah. So maybe 65. And then I'm tired of even being in a 35 or 55. And then I got an old lady going 20 or 35 in the 55. That's annoying. And then I feel bad because I was honking or I felt I was about to get road rage, and then I come and it's
somebody's grandma.
Yeah, it's 90-year-old
Clara.
That's
her heart.
Martha's
sister.
Bertha.
Yeah.
Well, that was just my little tirade, my little rant about Nashville and old drivers. Not to say, young drivers can drive in Nashville, because I think you just got to go around the corner, honk your horn, and get out the car safely to pass your driving test nowadays. So I don't think young drivers are better either, especially if it rains or if they
How about the old drivers that just drive into buildings? Like, I just got the gas and the brakes messed up, and they drive to the convenience store at the gas station, and then
they live because they're, of course, in the big old boat, like we said, the tank, and they took out 3 people.
And also, you have where with older drivers, one thing to consider is people's
reaction time.
Their physical health declines, their eyesight declines, their eye coordination, all that declines. So to me, it makes sense that you would do that. You wouldn't want someone that older, and you wouldn't want a pilot that was like 90 flying your plane. You're like, he might stroke out midair. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, so, I mean, that's just my little rant about Nashville. But, I mean, bigger than Nashville, that should be national, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. I will say also, though, there's plenty of older drivers that are fantastic drivers and stuff, but there's a few of them that definitely need to be taken off the road, and they have...
There's more than a few. There's only a few good old drivers, and then the rest need to be taken off the road. That's just how I feel about it. No. Anyway, do you guys have any other local Nashville news?
I think a couple months ago they passed a bill saying that it was okay to have a certain quantity, or they were going to you had under a certain quantity of marijuana on you, you could it was up to the officer.
Yeah, I believe we talked about that already.
In Davidson County.
But then they reversed it. I think they just reversed it. And
the state legislature did, and Governor Haslam signed it into law, basically negating Memphis's and Nashville's laws that they had passed. And state law always trumps local law, so technically those laws are no longer in existence in Memphis and Nashville.
And then they're trying to cut on, as we talked about too, they're going hard nationally, and trying to crack down on all these states that are legal to smoke pot and smoke weed. And so now they're trying to reverse that as well. So they're
at the what?
Like they're trying to close
level?
At the Jeffrey Sessions level.
At the state level, like they're trying
Jeffrey Sessions.
Yeah, exactly. He's like trying to stop it at the state, or stop the state.
I don't know who that is.
That's fine, Colonel. But he is trying to make it to where even the states now, the federal is trumping the state. So all the dispensaries in California and Colorado and wherever, will get shut down. And
Jeff Sessions is the Attorney General. He's out of Alabama. He's a very old school kind of law and order conservatives, like 1950s when men, especially white men, held all the power. That's kind of like his ideal America. And he's all about states' rights, like a lot of conservatives are. But then like it comes to issues like this, where states have passed their own law. Everything's going really well for them in that sense. Like murder and chaos didn't break out in those states. And so now the federal government is trying to say, well, we believe in states' rights except for when you disagree with what Republicans say in Congress.
He sounds like a fucking idiot when you hear him talk, though. He's like a retard. Like he can't even make valid points. Like, what did he say? I believe in medicinal, whatever.
Medicinal.
Yeah.
Medicinal.
Yeah. See, look, I got you going. I believe in that. Good for those benefits, but recreational, it's all bad. You shouldn't be doing it, period, unless, you got prescribed by a doctor for this and that. And it's just like, are you kidding me?
And they always use the same line, which is the same line that they used this time in the Tennessee legislature. Medicinal was brought up actually
by about the kids?
A Republican doctor, and then who was Republican, and then also another Republican. Both sponsored this bill for medical marijuana, and then they shot it down, the conservatives and the Republican Party down the state legislature, saying that there needed to be more research done. Well, the thing is like they make it pretty much impossible to do any type of research. And then over the past 10, 15 years, a lot of research has come out of states like California and Washington, where their universities have studied how legalization has affected the local communities. And then there's also several other countries who have done that, like I think Canada just legalized recreational across the board. So there's plenty of research out there. Basically, they're lying, trying to do that 1980s dare tactics. There's no research.
1920s.
Yeah. War on drugs, Nixon. I mean, Nixon started the war on drugs. Look how everything else worked out with Nixon. I mean, come on.
people should have caught on by the war on drugs. Like after they got educated on, well, I don't know if people really got educated on what happened with the war on drugs and why it was started, and who it really impacted and all that. But if you just know the history on the war on drugs and all that, then you should know they're just doing the same shit.
It's hard to declare war on a noun.
It just gives you a reason to lock up who you want to lock up, to go search who you want to search, and so on and so forth.
Really, the war on drugs was like a revamping and re-release of the 1930s Henry Anslinger, where he single-handedly pretty much made marijuana legal in the United States. And his big thing about it was like Reefer Madness, where black person smokes marijuana, and then black men are going to go out and rape white women. And
Blacks and Mexicans.
I was getting to our friends, the Mexicans. Okay. And the Mexicans are coming up out of California and working in the fields and stuff, and they bring marijuana with them because that's what they've been smoking out in the fields for hundreds of years. And then, so how can we crack down on these two segments of society that are scaring white people? And that was one of the ways. And then same thing with Nixon and the war on drugs. It expanded and codified it even more, and then created institutions like the DEA and stuff that give them a lot of money and power to crack down on people.
Right.
Let's not forget about the whole profit, the whole drug game. For the government and agencies.
They're making a killing out of it. Government, releasing
jails.
They're capturing it and selling it right back to us, making a profit off of it, and locking up people, and then making a profit off of the people they lock up. Like, it's a brilliant system they have. It's well thought out and well planned. We're like, and people say like the people. Like the government's underestimating the people because we outnumber them, but we are so dumbed down and we don't have like unity. So we all wouldn't be fighting for the same cause if shit was to go down. So then we would be divided anyway, I feel.
Yeah, any like local area, you'd have 100 different factions, this or that, with what they believe and want, and wouldn't always coincide.
Some people are holding down a neighborhood. Some people, you're not getting any food, or you're not, you know what I mean? You're not going to get any resources. You're not, it would just be, some people would want to just rebuild. Some people would want to relocate. Some people would want to
get everything they could with their AK-47.
Yeah, so it would be, like you said, a lot of factions in different areas, I guess. But, let's go to some local sports, I guess. I don't think we've caught up since the NFL draft. I know, Colonel, you're not a big sports guy, but the Titans, they drafted Corey Davis.
Yes, Corey Davis,
wide receiver.
Yes, he's going to do wonderful things. And let me tell you something. Corey Davis, when we went out and picked him,
yes, sir.
That's going to change the game.
Yeah, because it is going to change the game. You're right, Colonel, because they thought we were going to go defense first. Maybe they thought we were going to get Jamal Adams, the safety.
Guess what? We didn't.
We got the first receiver off the board. How do you feel about his ankle injury, Colonel?
I think that's going to heal up, and it's a little bit too early to see right now.
True. We got months away.
We got a ways
But
away.
at training camp, though, he should be good.
I think he's going to be good.
Do you think he's going to be our number one receiver immediately, or number two?
Man, I'm thinking he's going to be number two. We're going to give this kid a chance to warm up. He's fresh out the gate. He's what do you call it?
He's
what do they call that?
He's a precise route runner.
Thank you.
We would be able to trade back, and then Chicago kind of screwed that up when they took Trubisky, number 2. But I think Davis could be really good for our team, and then we got a potentially game-changing cornerback, especially in the punt return and kick return game. If you haven't seen highlights of Adoree Jackson, he is electric.
He is electric. This is true. But he was nowhere close to the top corner, I don't think. If you look at him, a lot of people's best games was against Adoree Jackson. They say he has no technique as a corner. He just uses his athletic ability, and that won't fly in the NFL.
Makes up for it with speed.
Right. And he still was considering going to the Olympics to run track or trying out for the Olympics. But I think the Titans stopped that. But I don't know. He's a question mark to me. I hope he pans out, but I don't know if he's... Because I looked at the depth chart, and he's already listed as the Titans' second best corner, or second corner on the depth chart. So...
Has Jason McCourty signed with anyone yet?
I don't think he has, but it doesn't look like he's coming back.
No. I thought maybe it could be one of those deals where they go and cut him and then, try to get him back for $2 million less, and you kind of fell off a little bit. But
yeah, I think I was listening to Malarkey on the radio, and it doesn't look like he's coming back.
That's unfortunate because he had a pretty decent season last year. Like, wasn't top 3 cornerback, but he was definitely solid.
All right.
Solid.
Well, we'll see. They gave the Titans the best draft in the AFC South, so we'll see. We had 2 first rounders, but I'm hoping Adoree pans out. And then I agree with my boy Colonel Austin over there saying Corey Davis' ankle will be healed up because there was a lot of question marks on him.
Yeah, they said it was minor.
And I think he's still the best receiver in the draft. That's what I thought anyway. So.
Anytime that anybody that young and having to have surgery before you draft them, that's a big red flag. But I'm sure the Titans did their due diligence. Their doctors checked him out thoroughly. Probably had like 15 MRIs. So hopefully by training camp and game 1, he'll be ready to go. Yeah,
I'm thinking we win the division this year, get into the playoffs.
I just want to beat the Colts.
I want to do more than that.
Well, I want to beat... I want to go to the playoffs for sure. But we haven't beat. I've just stated that wrong. We want to go to the playoffs, but we haven't beat the Colts in over half a decade. And they were a shitty team last year, and we just had to beat them once, and we would have won the division. It was just sad. And we tied with Houston 9-6, and then we don't get to go to the dance.
I like to dance.
Yeah, we all do. But speaking of that, the Preds are currently playing up 3-2 right now on the St. Louis Blues.
Go Preds.
Yeah, I don't know the score on that. We're going to have to look that up on our phones. But last time I checked, they were down 1-0 in the second quarter. So, but we are playing at home, so I hope we close that out. I'm thinking about going to a Preds game if they make it to the conference finals. They've never been that far.
I wonder what the face price on those tickets are going to be.
Right now, no, they were currently like for the first row, first deck is like anywhere from 100 to about 150.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
I don't know if that's going to increase in the conference finals,
Sure
but that was
will.
this series. So like right now, yeah. But yeah, I was thinking about going.
I mean, to think the last 5 years, the Titans haven't been to the playoffs, and those club level seats are still valued at like face $255, I think, or more.
Titans had a good season.
You get to be front row at the Preds game for $100. That's pretty nice.
I think on the other episodes I was talking about reports. It was the Mags Ultimate Report that ESPN does every year. And Preds were number 6 out of all the arenas, right? Or all the stadiums, arenas, and
all the sports and professional sports in the U.S.
Yeah, so
that's really impressive. Because the Titan Stadium, you've had losing season after losing season, and it costs like $12 for a hot dog.
I think out of 122, Titans were like 109 or something.
Yeah, and they'd moved up like 7 spaces from 116 the year before.
Yeah, so they got some room to improve, but yeah. I guess that's wrapping up the local sports. Go Preds. Any other local news before we move on? No.
There was a accident at the end of your street, and they were giving a guy a breathalyzer test right on the scene. Didn't even move the cars yet.
Was he Mexican?
He was not Caucasian. I'm going to say he was brown. I'm not saying Mexican, but yeah, it was a strange scene because
I'm just saying Cinco de Mayo just passed.
Yeah, he might have been
that.
But yeah, the ambulance haven't gotten there yet. It was just a cop, and they were already giving him a breathalyzer test. Like,
smell it on you.
Boom, right out of the car. So I was like, man, damn it, son. That's pretty local.
That's really, really local.
Yeah, that's fresh. Right from the kernel. That's how I do it. Just like I like my cuts.
Thank you for that update. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
you see that on your way in, sir?
I did not.
You must have come in down here.
Yeah, I came in from...
all right. So, let's, speaking of that, it was Cinco de Mayo. I don't know if either one of you watched this boxing.
No.
Okay, but they had like the Pride of Mexico, like the two biggest Mexican fighters, right?
Perez?
Not Perez, no. So they got...
Sanchez?
No. So, y'all would have got it right. Next, y'all would have said Gonzalez. And that would have been wrong. But no, you had Canelo Alvarez versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. And Julio Chavez Jr., his dad is considered like the greatest Mexican fighter.
Yeah, I remember. He was big in like late 80s,
right.
90s.
Well, yeah. Yes. Late 80s, early 90s, yeah. And so now his son is like 50-3 or something. He has a good record, but...
Damn it.
And then Canelo Alvarez only lost to Floyd Mayweather. So that's his only loss. And so it's supposed to be the biggest fight, the day after Cinco de Mayo, Pride of Mexico fight. Well, what is it? It was a Golden Boy Promotions. If y'all know who that is, Oscar De La Hoya's promotions.
Gotcha. Camp, yeah.
He promoted it, right? Well, this thing was like the biggest bust. It had a great turnout, but Canelo Alvarez won every round. I don't think that's like happening like a big ass.
How many rounds did it go?
12. It went all 12 rounds, but he won all 12 rounds. I don't think by all 3 judges.
Got his ass beat, I guess.
Yes, he did. And Canelo was moving up in weight. Dude was moving down in weight. And so I think he was like dehydrated and fatigued and all that from trying to cut all that weight. Cause he threw, a 20th of the punches Canelo threw. So it was I'm just throwing it out there. It was just a big bust last night on pay-per-view.
So would they make like 1/100th of a Floyd Mayweather fight?
I don't know. I think it did do a good. They got paid pretty well, and now they're setting up a fight with Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. That's supposed to be like the biggest fight besides the Pacquiao Mayweather fight.
Do you think the Mayweather McGregor fight's ever going to happen, or is that just kind of hype?
I guess the more I'm hearing about it, I do think it's going to happen.
It seems to me that Dana White, who's the owner of the UFC, doesn't really want it to happen, and whether or not he doesn't want it to happen because he doesn't want his fighters kind of fighting in other sports, or if he's holding out to run up the money.
He is not the owner anymore. He sold it.
Sorry.
Yeah, but he's still CEO, but
Okay.
he's not the owner. But yes, he's trying to he wants $40 million out of
McGregor's purse.
Yes.
$40 million.
Getting that Don King money.
Yeah. And then they say that Connor's supposed to make 100 or 80 or something like it was 80 or something like that, and then the rest is supposed to go to Floyd. I don't know, but I do think it's gonna happen. All that money, they were talking about it. Supposedly they had a date. All these hotels and places were booked in Vegas and yada yada, but I don't know. That was like June or July, and that's getting kind of close. So I think they would have started promoting it by now. So I think that's going to get pushed back. But I don't know.
How much longer can Mayweather stay at the top of his game?
He talks about that all the time, though. He's saying, he was saying that Conor could get him because, he's 40 and he's 26 or something. And
It's a big gap there.
Yeah, plus he says he's been, not fighting for 2 years or whatever. So he's realistic with it, I guess.
Also, though, I don't think he would lose to McGregor, but if he did end up losing a fight to someone, that would really tarnish his legacy.
But see, I think to me, boxing is still WWE. I feel, I kind of almost know, after Mayweather Pacquiao was over, they went into the same locker room, hugged each other, and congratulated each other for making, $1 billion, and splitting it however they split it. And that's what they did. We pulled it off. And I feel it'll be the same thing with McGregor and Mayweather. They're working all that out in the contract. Nobody gets hurt. Let's put on a show. Let's make this money and go separate ways. That's really what I think it is. It's a business. And I think that's what they work out in the contract. That's why you got Mayweather's always the A side. And he makes sure that he comes out last. He gets the bigger purse. His name is bigger on the writing, and he gets the more production time on the promotions and yada yada. And I still feel like what they don't tell you is they work out or who's gonna win or how it's gonna go, and that's why they work out who gets what in the contract, because it's a show, it's entertainment. Let's not forget that.
And then also you have where you can have a series of fights instead of one fight, one big purse. One person wins the first one, the other person wins the second one, and then you have this big
trilogy type deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all entertainment.
Kind of soap opera behind the scenes, hyping everything up.
Once you start getting to those over $10 million and certain pay-per-view numbers, it's really a show and it's controlled.
Do you have any proof of that? I mean, I see what you're saying, and by all means, I grew up. My pops used to watch boxing, and used to be on HBO. Used to have fight nights or whatever. Used to have the fellas over or whatever. But I mean, yeah, you have anything to back that up with? But just
off the top of my head, no. But you've got plenty of fights where they're just notorious for being robbed, where this guy clearly won, and then you got two judges side with the loser, and then that guy gets a champion, or he stays a champion, or there's too many. If you just go do the research, there's too many examples of this happening, or corrupt judges, corrupt
refs.
I guess they're in on it. I mean, they could take away points and stuff like that. Call people out early, fast counts, stuff like that. But for the most part, it would be judges. And
you only got to buy two.
Right. And yeah, I mean, yeah, the research or proof, I guess, is just me watching boxing and knowing boxing and listening to countless amount of analyst talk, I just watch boxing. I know boxing. I just know that it's one of the most rigged sports out there since like the 20s, 30s, since you had the Hurricane and before that, and Joe Louis and all that. Like it's been just known to be rigged.
Well, you just blew my bubble there.
I'm sure ESPN's working on the 30 for 30.
Well, anyway, Colonel, let's get into you, Colonel. Let's talk about DJing.
All right.
You are a DJ, correct?
Yes, yeah, I certainly am.
How long have you been DJing?
Probably since, ninth grade. I remember going to...
Was that 19 what?
Doesn't matter.
We'll just say 1990
something.
5.
Yeah, we'll say 95. That's way off, but thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to go to my brother's house and buy records and make little mixtapes and bring them back up and sell them in school for, like $10. And
you still DJ with records, right? On vinyls?
Well, not so much. I do, but I don't. I still use turntables. But I'm using Serato, which uses a vinyl,
digital vinyl.
Yeah, digital vinyl on a regular turntable.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a couple questions. As a DJ, what is the biggest crowd that you DJ'd in front of? Because you were in a band also.
I was in a band. I'd say about...
Most bands don't have a DJ.
No, most bands don't have a DJ.
So y'all were ahead of your time back in the day.
No, not really. There was like Incubus. There was a couple bands out there that had DJs. I think Big Ass Truck might have had a DJ.
Were these some of your influences?
Mark McGrath, his name.
Mark, what was that? I just want
Yep.
Okay. Do they have a DJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Like,
What's the guy
the
that
name fails me right now? The band.
song called
Crazy
Drive?
Oh,
No.
Song called Drive by
that was
Incubus.
That was
That's
Incubus.
Incubus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good song.
Yeah, that's a great album.
So there was bands out there that was doing that. I say the biggest crowd was we played in Louisville for at least 600, and then we've done festivals where like there was a whole bunch of people there, but they weren't all there to see us. And I guess neither was a 600, but we played River Stages before in Nashville, and River Stages was a deal.
Okay, so you see 600 people, you're like, damn, this is the biggest crowd. You get stage fright. You get nerves before every show.
Yeah, you get nerves before every show a little bit.
You ever mess up on a show? Like,
Yeah.
crowd doesn't know though.
But yeah, I'm the DJ, so my part is like, I just if my things aren't out there. Like, I'm not a drummer. If I miss a beat or if I miss a drum roll, no one knows. If the bass player drops out, you can fake it, but you might notice that. If the singer messes up and just stops singing, you notice that. But if I was never an intricate part of the.
You ever had a moment where the crowd didn't know, like you brought in a song all fucked up, and then they're like, "What the fuck?" And everybody's kind of looked at you for half a second.
No, the worst thing is having to wait, like the band ready to go. Like we'd have sets, of half an hour, so you try to get as many songs as you can. So you just want to keep it going. You want to keep the crowd engaged too. You don't want to sit there and tune up and have everybody wait and okay. All right, now play. So we used to keep the songs going. Sometimes I would start those songs. So I would have to physically, this was before Serato, I'd have to get the record, switch the record, cue it up, get it ready. And then sometimes I would start the song. So they would have to wait on me. And then, sometimes you get a little tipsy. You might have smoked before that you went on. And yeah, you're a little slow. So yeah, sometimes that was the worst that would happen. I'd be late starting.
So what was like the worst meltdown situation or thing that messed up the most that just screwed you? And like you go and 2 of your records are broken for your next set or something type thing. Like, what do you do?
I left my needles in Nashville and we had a show in Alabama.
Damn it.
And yeah, that was
You can't really go just pick those up at Walmart.
Yeah. And even if I didn't have money to get, $100 stylists. And
So no DJ
so
out.
boom, I just
in
sat
Alabama.
in the crowd and chill. They were like, "Oh,
You didn't get a cut of that.
I'm sure." And that was another thing. I think
They cut him in just enough so he could have gas money to throw back into the pot.
yeah, I think that was another big thing was money issues. Like I think my band member just a lot of the money would just disappear or how come we're all struggling in college and on this blah 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 and you don't have a job, but you got some,
I hear money.
but you got some new
in the
kicks.
music business.
You got some new kicks on, and it's just like weird, collecting the money one night. It's just like, man, we pulling a lot of dough, and if we're doing this, where is that money going? So yeah, there was some things going on with that, and I think definitely one of my bandmates was like, "This is bullshit."
Off money.
Yeah,
Well, I've listened to the album. I kind of like it. I mean, I like a lot of songs on there. It's only like 2 songs where I'm like, I would change it, but the rest I can listen to the whole album. It's pretty good.
no, thank you.
Yeah, it sucks it didn't work out for y'all.
It did.
It did work out. Okay.
Oh, it did. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it didn't work out.
Oh, it didn't work out.
No, I mean, yeah, no. I was thinking about something else, I guess.
Okay. Well, how long were y'all officially a band?
good 5 years.
Damn.
That is a minute.
Well, then that did work out then, I guess, right?
It was fun, man. It was
sounds like you traveled.
Traveled all through the southern east. I don't think we ever went to Florida, but everywhere else. And we already had a built-in crowd because the lead singer and the guitar player were already from Louisville. So, like, our first show was pimp. Like, oh, Jason and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, you can get a show, blah, blah, blah. Headliners. Boom. And it was just like backstage, green room, a real stage with lights, camera, not a camera guy, but a light guy and a real sound system. Like DJ gets a monitor. What? DJ gets his own monitor? That was our first show. And I was like, wow.
So you're like, we're headed for it.
Yeah, this is it. Sleeping on the floor in Franklin, Tennessee. Like fucking, yeah, 3 guys in the band, 2 sharing a room this size. And me on the floor, this fan, this fanatic. I think the band might have. I know Phil fucked her. Shout out to what's her name? Damn it, can't remember. But she's still around. Good girl. Jehovah's Witness now. Yeah. Spent some time in jail. That's a good story. I'm not supposed to tell anybody.
Damn, well, shout out to you. And
yes.
Put your pussy on the shelf. Good for you.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was like, man, we got to be making it. This is.
By the 15th show, though, you were like, hold up, wait a minute. We're going backwards a little bit.
Well, no, it kept going back and forth. We'd always have a show in Louisville, and then, we started getting, it's hard to make money in Nashville if you're a band, like if you're not a country band or if you're a band in general. People don't like pay you to play in Nashville because there's musicians all over that are top notch. Unless you're playing a wedding. There was a good band last night.
You do weddings too, right?
Yeah.
Do DJ weddings?
Do your weddings, events, whatever.
What is the most played wedding song that you hear? A couple of them just come off the top of your head.
Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah, that's a good one. I guess, if you're in the catering world, you can name these 2.
Rocky Top.
No.
No?
No. Why?
What do we got? What do you
got? Let's see.
What do brides request? You got a lot of those same songs, maybe?
A lot of 90s, a lot of new kids.
Whitney Houston, maybe?
Whitney Houston is a hit. Bruno Mars, he's got his, like, a couple of his hits, Uptown Funk, and then his new one, and yeah.
What is some of the worst songs or terrible songs that people requested you play at a wedding or just a party in general where you're like, this is terrible, I gotta play Gundam Style right now?
I got asked to play at a wedding out here, and for the mother and son dance.
Pop that pussy. Pop that pussy.
For the mother and son dance, it was Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman.
And it was the mother. It was
the mother's son. So I mean, that song.
It was just a little awkward.
It was very awkward, and I got looks. As a DJ, you're always looking to see who's checking you out or see what response you're getting from a crowd, because people will give you that immediately. Like if you put something on good, or you put something on bad or obscure, or like, oh, this guy's cool, or this, what the fuck is it? I got a lot of those. Like, and it was all quiet. Everybody was circled around. It was one of these country weddings outside, and everybody was circled around, and I was kind of at one end and a couple at the other, and boom, when a man loves a woman, he looks, I was like, man, that's not. And they explained, it was like, this was, there was a song that they grew up. She grew up as a single mom, and that's what they used to dance to, and something like that. But it was creepy. It was creepy, definitely.
There's a lot of creepy pictures of women taking naked pictures with their babies coming out lately. I don't know if y'all have been.
No, I did not know that.
I saw that one that happened a couple months ago.
Oh, there's been a couple of them, like maybe 5 of them now, where, I mean, the kids are like 3 and neither one of them have any clothes on except for some Jordans or something. The little kid has some Jordans, and they'll just be like hugging their mom, and it's just like, what the?
It sounds like Child Protective Services is going to be going to somebody's house.
Well, that's the thing though. That's where a lot of people were tripping. People were tripping off of, like, if guys did this, like, they'd be in jail, like, immediately, like if the dad did this. But yeah, the mom, and it's all good. They had a comedian.
So it's just them and their kids naked, like, got new Jordans at the mall today.
Yeah. It was just bad. One was a comedian. One was an actor or actress, I mean. And then they just had, people mimicking them, I guess. And what photographer is taking these pictures like that? That's just
somebody who needs some money,
I guess.
Those kids still have to go to middle school one day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I come over your house and I see you as a 3-year-old baby with your mama naked, I'm going in. I'm going in.
Well, they had that Newsweek photo a few years back of the woman breastfeeding a 6-year-old. He's up on a chair and stuff. And
yeah,
it's like,
I saw that. Yeah,
it's like, I'm not commenting about, like, do what you're going to do, but that kid does have to go to middle school one day, and every single person will instantly be able to pull that up on their phone. That's going to be a hard thing for him to live down.
That sounds like a Jim Carrey movie. Yeah. You got any questions for old Colonel the DJ? You got any stories you want to tell as a DJ?
Stories.
So I've got a question. Has there ever been somebody that wanted you to do an event, and then you started to find out more about them, and it was something like, well, we want you to come DJ Hitler's birthday on 420 where everybody's going to be dressed up in Nazi regalia, and you're like, no, there's no way I would be a part of that. Like,
no, I would certainly be there for that. I mean, as long as the money was right.
Did the check clear?
Cash up front. No, man.
You were worried about the weird looks from Percy Sledge.
I mean, but if everybody was at the gala for that particular thing, everybody would know. I did have to do the National Cattlemen's Association's after party. And the girl told me, like...
That seems like a good fit for you.
Yeah, that's what I said. And it was, it was cattlemen. Anything to do with cattlemen's cattle, and from saddles to gates, fences, or whatever. And it said country dance. Country dance and pop or something else. So I just thought she meant country dance music and pop. She meant country dance, like line dancers. They hired line dancers. And so I got up there and doing my old, good old bar mix stuff from the 70s, and my phone's starting to blow up. And I just, I'm not paying attention to it because I'm like on this,
you're DJing.
I'm DJing, and I'm on these scissors, on a 2-story scissor lift that goes up, like if you had to change a light bulb in a gymnasium.
Right.
I'm on this platform, which is shaky as all hell. My equipment is on top of that. So I'm not thinking about my phone, and I'm playing these music, and I see all these cowboys come in with their cowboy shirts and the cowboy hats all at one time. And it was kind of badass because I'm up at the back of the building, and I just see them all come in. They all came in at once. The doors were closed, and they all let them in. And I'm getting ready to tear it up. And then I get, psst, yo, they start throwing shit at me like, yo, look at your phone. Look at your phone. And like, yo, you got to play some country music. So I started playing a little country, little whatever.
Did you play Achy Breaky Heart? Because I
had to get there. That's what they wanted me to play. No, old country. Start playing this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, luckily I had a country wedding like 2 years ago. Peace out to the Ivies. Dude's a cop now. Just had their first baby.
Congrats on that.
Congrats, yeah. And you met his half brother, Jonathan.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Shout out to Jonathan.
Anyway, they wanted old school country, so I bought this 21 greatest hits of old school country. And that's what I played, and that's what got me through. I swear, because it was on. They started doing like, "Yo, play. You got the White Yoakum, and you got this." And I'm
George Jones.
George Jones. So I started playing George Jones, and as soon as I put it on, they'd come out 2-stepping, doing the twirls, and the line dances came out, and
Oh,
was all gravy.
That sounds fun, man.
It was, but for a while it was like.
Shout out to my mama. She
likes line dance.
Well, no, she likes country music though.
Oh, wow.
Well, she did back in the day. I used to listen to country music all the time, amongst other things. And since we did a shout out to my mom, you and I worked on a Nat King Cole sample, right?
We sure did.
It's almost done. We worked on a beat with Nat King Cole. We sampled his song and tried to make a beat, and then got him singing a little bit in the back.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We did that, picked it out because of my mama. But anyway, Mama Bell.
Shout out to moms all across the country. Mom's Day coming out by the time this airs, I reckon.
Sure.
Or not. Fuck mothers. Fuck them all.
No.
Cunts.
No, definitely. Shout out to Mother's Day when that happens, but it's not here yet. Great story, by the way. Guy Gene, you got anything you want to talk about?
We had the basically Trump Care healthcare bill pass here last week, the House by 3 votes, and then it'll go to the Senate. They're going to change it a whole lot. We'll see if they actually get something passed, but it's going to be rather draconian, the House version they have now, where people that were on the Medicaid expansion are going to get kicked off in 2020, and then up to 24 plus million people will lose health coverage over the next 10 years. Basically, it'll go and undo all the people, the 20 million people that got health insurance under Obamacare, plus 4 million other people are going to lose their insurance. And you have Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, saying that this will give people more access to care. Well, it's like access doesn't really mean anything. I have the access to buy a Rolls Royce. I don't have the means to do it. If you can't afford it, then it really doesn't matter how much access that you have. What people want, what people need is coverage. And it's going to be great to see these Republican congressmen go back to their districts later and get grilled, because there's already a guy from upstate New York where the crowds were just really, really hostile towards him. And it could end up costing them the House in 2018. We'll see. But I think maybe they can get something passed, but it's going to be vastly changed after it goes to the Senate. But it's a step in the wrong direction for healthcare, and it's really going to end up making things more expensive, I think, in the long run, because it goes back to the Wild Wild West days before the Affordable Care Act, where insurance companies can pretty much do what they want, and then the House Republicans are going to give states exemptions for pre-existing conditions where they don't have to cover those if they don't want to. And so there's going to be a lot of people that get left out in the cold, and then a lot of middle-class people are going to see their insurance premiums go up.
We talked about in previous episodes the Trump healthcare, but it was not this, because he put out something different, and then when he passed this, it was totally different than what he had proposed, I guess, earlier.
And it's contradictory to what he said during the campaign, where he's going to give insurance to everybody and it was going to be affordable.
Right. And
they weren't going to take any money out of Medicare and Medicaid, and they're taking almost $1 trillion out over a decade.
So yeah, he pulled a fastball, which pretty much all presidents do. I mean, just Trump, fuck Trump, but Obama did the same thing, like just for an example, i.e., Guantanamo Bay. I'm gonna close down. That's be the first thing. All right, I'll close this down immediately. Man, come on, and that never happened. So
then they needed to study about it and got in delay.
Yeah, so all presidents lie and then change up their story, but damn.
This is actually kind of what I expected out of Trump, and especially Paul Ryan. I don't think Trump's really all that involved with this. He's pretty much deferring to Paul Ryan, and I think that guy's a real snake in the grass. Like, anybody that trusts him is definitely going to get bit.
Like, I did expect this out of Trump, but he had a whole policy on healthcare, and this shit was like a complete 180 from what he actually did. Like, that shit's crazy that he had it. Well, it wasn't a lot documented.
He wasn't really saying what he was going to do, like before, like
A lot of platitudes.
yeah, there wasn't any actual like I'm going to make healthcare better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But how are you going to do that? He never really said. Won the election, and now here we are.
Well,
now.
even after he won the election, he had a proposal that was just totally different than actually
what's done now.
Yeah. So you just can't believe nothing they say until it's actually signed and signed off on it.
It'll be interesting to see what happens if they can pass a bill and then what it'll actually end up being by the time Trump signs it. But if the Congressional Budget Office is anywhere close and 24 million people lose their health insurance, they're spread around all around the country, and a lot of them are in red states, that could be enough to go and flip the political map in 2020 easily, just that one issue. Because, people go and get sick, their kids are sick, have leukemia, and then you're trying to mess with their insurance. They're not going to vote for you next round.
Yeah, see, like Trump is kind of pulling like a Bush Junior, I guess, because he's got even like old white people like, hey, what the fuck? Like, and when you start to get that happen, then it's like, that's when change starts to really come about. So,
and a lot of those people are kind of like dyed-in-wool Republicans on 99% of the issues all the time, but it's like you go and mess with that one issue that really affects their lives,
right? Then
they're going to get pissed off and do something about it,
right? And then they have a lot of influence. Old white people have a lot of influence. So, hey, Trump, you gotta. It's something every day going on with this guy. It's crazy.
I look forward to it. It's entertaining to wake up and see what he's done, what he's tweeted, what he's said to who.
Why is the president tweeting? That's just stupid.
Yeah, that's his main.
They just need to give him a fake phone. Let him send out all the tweets
he wouldn't know
wants.
The difference. Do y'all remember Trump used to be a boxing promoter? He used to promote with Don King.
I vaguely remember.
You don't remember that?
I vaguely remember that too.
That's early '90s, but yeah, he was
out
hanging
in Vegas.
Yeah, he was hanging with Don King and promoting with Don King, bro. He was helping with a lot of Tyson fights. I think he came in right after the Ali era and moved in with that Tyson era. But Don King was right there. That's when he started getting real in the limelight, I guess. Was in that early 90s, man. And
he definitely seems like he's gone out of his way over the years to seek the limelight.
Speaking of Trump, did y'all see where he was complaining, talking about the presidency or being a president is harder than he thought, and he was reconsidering. He wants his old life back. And
oh no,
you didn't hear this? He wants his old life back because being a president's too hard. It's harder than he thought.
It's a tough job.
It's not what he expected.
Yeah, Howard Stern said after that interview that Donald Trump really didn't want to be president, was kind of surprised that he won, and it was a whole lot to take on. But he loves the attention seeking and kind of wanted to run in the campaign, and Trump thought eventually one of the other Republicans would knock him out and they would become the party nominee. But this was a great promotional thing because he's on TV all the time, especially CNN gave him millions and millions of dollars of free airtime, but as a way to promote his brands and then his show, and then eventually he would bow out and then somebody else would become president, and then he would make millions and millions more dollars because of everything that he'd be able to sell.
I sold some, I served some Trump vodka beginning of this year.
Because you're also a bartender. People are like, sir, yeah, you're also a bartender.
Yeah, I sling some drinks.
Okay, cool. And Trump has a vodka?
Trump has a vodka. I didn't know.
How did that go over?
We were probably in a Republican house, maybe. I don't know. That was.
Were you at Father Ryan?
I'm not going to say where I was. I can't. I would. Probably
Is it manufactured in Russia?
No, I don't think it was. I don't remember. But I was in a tall bottle. It was a good-looking bottle. Looked like a giant penis, I guess. Golden penis. Yes.
Fits Trump, I guess. Did you try the liquor?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you want to?
Not really.
I'd have tried it.
I'd be
Spit that
curious.
shit out, spit it on somebody's shoe.
Oh, yeah, you don't get tips that way.
I've bartended at Father Ryan and catered at Father Ryan a couple times. I've seen the Haslams there.
Haslam's, that sounds familiar.
Governor.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy. What's his name? William Haslam, right?
Yes.
They also, his brothers also own like the Browns and...
They own the Pilot truck stops.
Yeah, there you go.
What's the Browns?
Cleveland Browns.
Oh, hot damn.
That's the Haslams.
They haven't had a winning season in 30 years, so I can see how you wouldn't recognize the Browns.
But yeah, I've met like it's three brothers. I met two of them, I want to say. I've met, it was interesting, I'll say the least, at that event. I've been there several times, but this current event, it made me bite my lip several times.
I have built panels for Pilot stores throughout the southern east.
Built panels?
Light panels, like lighting consoles.
I didn't know about this. When was this? You used to do
this
this?
was like 2 years ago, probably.
2 years ago. So
I still
you're like,
do that. I do that. I do many, many things, sir. Yes, many things.
Many things. Okay.
But yeah, that's funny. I used to build these lighting things, little just lighting contactors.
You didn't even know your boss was a Haslam. He was undercover boss.
Well,
on
he
you.
wasn't a boss. He bought stuff from us. I don't know if he was the boss. I don't think.
He undercover bossed you. You didn't even know it.
You're one of the people that got edited out of the show.
Maybe
You failed.
Yeah. Well, good. I hope I didn't blow anything up. Shout out to McLean Technology Group.
Shout out to them.
Making electricity work, son.
Well, we're in the conclusion set of this podcast. This episode 10. We made it to episode 10. You guys got anything to say before we wrap this up? Any shout outs? Any last words?
Man, shout out to the Zulu Nation. Google it. Oh no, thanks for having me on, man. Thank you. It's a wonderful way to spend a Sunday. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no doubt. Feel free.
Oh yeah, and hit me up on Instagram at DJCOL Austin and Twitter at that same handle.
Nice. I do want to give a quick shout out. I don't know if you got. Well, I know Colonel, you didn't watch this, but Colonel, I know you didn't watch this, but Guy Jean, maybe you watched the Sports Reporters. You ever watched that on Sundays?
I may have. It's not ringing any bells right off the bat.
Okay, well, the sports reporter was on for 30 years, and they used to do this sports show every Sunday in the mornings, and they used to have all kind of columnists on it. Mitch Albom, Bob,
Costas?
No, what's this guy's name?
Costas?
Howard Cosell.
Actually, he was on there.
It's the only sportcaster I know before 1980.
Yeah, I can't. Bob Ryan. Bob Ryan. Yes.
Basketball announcer?
No. But but yeah, they ended their 30-year run today. And they're thinking about starting a podcast. I hope they do, because it's real good stuff. Mitch Albom is one of my favorite writers.
Was it on like sports or sports?
I think it was on ESPN. I don't think it started there, but I think it went to ESPN. But it was a great show. Anyway, shout out to them. That's my last word. You got anything? No?
Just hope the Preds win and the series keeps on going
Preds.
the next round and keep bringing that money into Nashville.
All right. Thank you for listening. Tune in. Leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you.